to everyone, my name is Ania. I am the founder of LivingveggiebyAnia. It's a vegan educational company. We are conducting online cooking classes, nutritional consultation. We have an ebook with recipes from all around the world which are veganized. And today we would like to invite you for the cooking demo. I'm really sorry that we have to do it online. I think it will be more fun for both sides if we could meet face to face, and I do hope that next year we can do that. But today we're going to prepare Fesenjan. It's a Persian classic, very often prepared for the Yalda night, the longest night of the year, when the Iranians celebrating the beginning of the winter. And we're going to prepare obviously a veganized version of that dish. Normally it's served with poultry, duck or chicken, and we're going to replace our poultry with tempeh. And tempeh is obviously not traditional Persian ingredient. It's a soya product similar to tofu, however it's a less processed because it's fermented first. The whole soya beans are fermented, so inside you can see the whole soya beans inside. It's not like tofu, it's not smooth. So first it's fermented, then it's pressed into a block like this. It does contain more proteins, about 15 to 16 grams of protein in 100 grams, versus tofu, which is only 10 to 11, depends on type of tofu. And it's fermented. Fermented products are easier to digest, and they do help, especially with absorption of iron. So that will be based on our dish. And then how we create a flavor. So it's a very unusual combination of walnuts and pomegranate melassa. And pomegranate melassa, it's a dark, thick paste. Pomegranate paste, melassa. You can get it in Middle Eastern stores, Turkish, Arabic. It's actually very, has a powerful fragrance. It's quite sour, so please use it sparingly. Always better less than more, because it's a really strong flavor, but that gives this unique, absolutely unique flavor of our Fesenjan. Then we're going to use half onion. I have about 400 milliliter of stock. I'm using here vegan, gluten-free stock, but you are free to use any stock of your choice. Obviously, if you have a homemade version, that would be great. And very simple seasoning of nutmeg, cinnamon, salt, and pepper. Don't worry about the quantities. I do have a booth at the vegan festival, so you can come over and just download the recipe over there, where you will have all the quantities of the ingredients which I used. So today also I'm going to show you the water frying method. So we are not using oil, we will use just water to fry our onion. Let's start with tempeh. I have a dry frying pan, no water, no onion, and let me just heat it up. If you are familiar with the concept of the whole food plant-based diet, which is for example promoted by Dr. Campbell, or the movement Fork Over Knife, they do strongly advise reduction of oil. They believe that oil should not come from the bottle. So basically to eliminate coconut oil, sunflower oil, but also olive oil. Our fats should come from nuts, seeds, avocado for example. And even if that sounds a bit extreme in the beginning, I think from time to time it's worth to try to reduce the amount of oil in the diet. So my frying pan is hot, and I will just throw my tempeh. I want it just to get it lightly brown on the edges, so it's a bit more crunchy. Perfect. You can get tempeh also in UK. I checked it, it's available in Sainsbury's, for example, also in the big Whole Foods, but a lot of organic small stores, they do carry tempeh, and it's a really great way to start your journey with soya products. I know a lot of people are afraid of soy. Tempeh is lightly processed compared to tofu, and it does have so much more health benefits. And it also has a mild nutty flavor. So people do complain that tofu is very, very bland and tasteless. Tempeh has a mild, nutty, earthy flavor, so I hope you will find it less boring than tofu. Just a few minutes. And now I will add what is important. You have to add very little water, ensure that your food is not getting cooked. So I would say just 1 spoon. Perfect. You can hear the sizzling, I hope. And this what will be the water frying method. Basically, you cannot leave your food unattended because you have to ensure that it doesn't get burned, and probably every 30-60 seconds we have to add more water. But if you look after calories, if you look after fat in your diet, I think that's a great way because it allows you to reduce oil intakes. Yes, I can smell it. If you are interested in the Persian recipes, please come visit my booth. I also have a free video to download with another Persian classic. It's an eggplant dish appetizer, kash kabadanjun. It's not like Lebanese baba ganoush. It's a bit different concept. Equally tasty, and you can find out how to prepare it if you come to the booth of LivingveggiebyAnia. Perfect, tempeh is ready. You could also bake it in the oven just for maybe 20 minutes until it gets slightly brown like this. So now we start with the onion, water frying onion. I will start with maybe 2 spoons of water. And now I will add on my onion. Again, ensure that it's very little water. We don't want to cook this onion. So it always has to be well beneath the level of onion or garlic if you will fry garlic, because you can apply the same water frying method to other vegetables, it's not only onion. Perfect, so now we will wait until it gets brown. I'm not sure whether you are familiar with the Persian food, but it's my favorite cuisine, and it's really unique, although geographically it's part of Middle East and it's close to Arabic countries. Their cuisine is a bit different. The language is different, the history was very different, and so it does, the Persian food does reflect the different history of Iran. And if you go to the Persian restaurants, you won't find a little Arabic method. That's not what the Iranians do. but you will find a lot of stews. They really like the stews, as Iran has a proper winter. It has a 4 seasons in the northern part of the country, when people are going to ski, for example. So their cuisine also, just like European, it does change with the seasons, and it does serve a lot of warming dishes, like the Fesenjan is walnuts we're using for Christmas, they're using for the winter, so there is a connection. Okay, we keep adding some water, and again very little, spoon by spoon. You can also use vegetable stock for frying. You can use wine if you, for example, would prepare this onion or garlic for Italian tomato sauce. It will go great if you use wine for frying. It's basically any liquid. I tried to fry on soya milk, and it also works. Smells lovely. Few minutes more. And if you are interested in vegan version of National Classics, you can find my ebook at my booth, where it's a result of my travels. So you can find Indian paneer curry without paneer, Moroccan soups, obviously more Persian dishes, French classics, Southeast Asian veganized classic like rendang or satay sauce, and obviously a bit of my home country. I'm originally from Poland. So you can also find some Polish dishes over there. If you visit my booth, you will find it over there. Okay. And this dish, you can easily prepare more of it and just freeze it. Because I know it might be a bit time consuming, but if you prepare a big batch, you can just keep it in your freezer up to 3 months. Perfect, so the onion is ready. As you can see that it's lightly brown, which is perfect, no oil, and we're going to keep it for later. So I'm just going to keep it in the bowl. So now we can move to our walnuts. I have 125 raw walnuts here, and I'm going to use my food processor just to blend them into a powder. Obviously, you can, if you don't have a powerful food processor, you can now buy just a walnut powder, like I think it will be a walnut flour, where all it is just a blended walnuts. So it will be very noisy. I will probably go quiet. So our walnuts are ready. And here I have a saucepan. Again, no oil, no water. Here we're going to move our walnuts. And now I'm going to just quickly toast them in our pan, just for 2-3 minutes, so you can actually smell it. It's Reminds me of Christmas. Perfect. It's very nutty, lovely. Just a minute. We don't want to burn them, just to intensify the flavor, the fragrance. Great, it looks that walnuts are ready, getting brown on the edges. So now it's time to add all our veggie stock, about 400 ml. Lovely. And now we are going to bring it to boil and simmer it for 20, maybe even 30 minutes until it forms a thick paste. Obviously, we are not going to wait that long. We'll just leave it simmer and we'll be back in 20 minutes. Now it looks like it's done. If you can see, it's a really, really thick paste. And if you even leave it for longer, you would start to see an oil separation. So now what we're going to do, we'll add all the remaining ingredients. Pomegranate melassa. That would give dark, rich brown color to the dish. And if you like even more, you know that you like more acidic flavor, you can add a bit more. But really it's quite powerful, so I would say taste it first. Whoa, I can already taste it. I forgot maple syrup. So now you can see that's the color of Fesenjan. That's how it's going to look. We're going to add just less than a tablespoon of maple syrup as a sweetener, but you can use any sweetener of your choice. I would say avoid any coconut sugars, nectars, because they give you a strong coconut taste and we don't want it in Persian food. I'm going to add just a half teaspoon of cinnamon. It's a portion for two, so half teaspoon will be more than enough. I will use again half teaspoon of nutmeg. Bit of salt and pepper. I will be especially careful with salt because our stock had already some salt, so you don't have to really season it so much. Bit of pepper. Salt. Again, stir it together. Wow, now all the fragrance, it's all coming through. And you can see it's a thick, smooth paste. So what are we going to do now? We add our onions, our fried onions. Our tempeh. Or if you want any other protein. Now we stir everything together, and that's basically Fesenjan done. There are plenty of different options, a different version of Fesenjan, just like people do shepherd's pie in a different way. I know that some will add pomegranate juice. some will omit cinnamon. This is the version which I like. It's really simple and quick. And usually it's really popular among the guests. And now you can see the bottom of the pot is really oily, and as you see, we didn't use any oil. This is how much oil comes from nuts. So I think especially for Fesenjan, you don't have to use any additional oil for that. So this is how it looks. I'm going to show it to you closer to the camera. So now I'm going to serve it to you so you can see the final dish. It looks great if you garnish it with parsley or pomegranate seeds. That will just look lovely. And you can serve it with saffron rice, as that would be traditional Iranian way, or any rice would be great. Oh, it smells really nice. It's very rich. You can see the oily, shiny part on the top of the dish. And we didn't use any extra oil. You can just see how much oil it's in the walnuts. So no need to add any extra. And if you are interested in the more Persian recipes, or if you would like to just talk to me, chat with me, please visit LivingveggiebyAnia booth here at the festival. I'm really waiting to hear from you. Thank you very much, and happy cooking!